Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem, a postmortem of my Blitz game number 416. I had the white pieces here and I kicked off with e4. I've been trying to play the bishop's opening since I did a recent opening basics video on the bishop's opening. But I've been thwarted so far. My opponent plays knight c6, the Nimzowitsch defense. And now the move that I normally play here is d4. I think that's probably the strongest move in the position. Looks like the most popular move in the database is knight f3, which might transpose into some kind of a typical king's pawn opening if black plays e5. Of course, black can play differently. After d4, black usually responds with either d5 or e5. Both moves are playable, leading to interesting positions. But, well, since I've been trying to play the bishop's opening, I thought I would try it out here. And, well, it's not particularly good here. I guess this gives up the opening advantage right away. So anyway, we get a long and interesting game here. So e6, blunting the bishop. I develop a knight to c3, trying to keep a clamp on this d5 square. He goes knight f6, adding support to d5. And now at this point, I just develop a knight. So I've given up on clamping down on d5. He can play it. And I can't stop him, really. I didn't see another way to prevent it. So he plays d5. I throw in one exchange. And then retreat the bishop to d3. Kind of a funny square. Let's see. The chess engine prefers b3. Yeah, I wasn't sure. On b3, the bishop might be useful, or it might be getting shut out by this pawn. So I played it here with the intention of fianchettoing on the queen side. So bishop g4 was played. Let's see. Was there a more accurate move here? Queen e7 check maybe is a little bit uncomfortable for white. So anyway, yeah, black is doing fine in any case. So this is not the way to play it. And now queen e7 check once again is recommended. With king f1 the move. Let's take a look at this. I'm a bit curious why this is so strong. I mean, I would have probably just played queen e2 here. Ah, I see. This allows him to double my pawns. And knight to e5, preventing the exchange. Okay, so that is good for white, clearly. I mean, good for black, clearly. So after the check, I should probably play king f1. Yeah, so if I'm playing king f1, that's not a good scenario. Okay, not the way to play in the opening. Bishop takes f3. My opponent played queen takes f3, and I'm playing on with only a slight disadvantage. Let's see, did he have something better than the knight move? Bishop to c5. Yeah. Why move a piece twice when you can keep developing effectively with your other pieces? That's a very logical move. Anyway, he played knight e5, harassing my queen. I drop back, and now he gets in queen e7, but I have time to castle now. So any potential damage that he would have inflicted on me has been bypassed in this line. So, but he gets to grab one of my bishops, so I don't have the advantage of the bishop pair, but now I'm back into the territory where you have the kind of typical opening advantage that white has. So I went queen d7 here. I'm not sure what that was about. Oh, of course, he's getting away from the idea of rook to e1 with the skewer. Of course, rook e1, if we back up, rook e1 couldn't have been played here because his queen can just take the rook, so I would have to prepare rook e1. But, well, queen d7, getting out of the way just in case. Now I went with b3, developing my bishop. He castles. And so we got the typical opposite side castling. I decided to go for a pawn attack here. Let's see. Oh, he throws in... right here. I play a4. Yeah, I decided to push the pawns forward and try and create some weaknesses on the queen side. Really, he's got a very solid structure here. I could have considered, I suppose, a move like queen to... and d4 there, eyeing this a pawn. But yeah, I didn't think this would cause any particular problems. Let's put this on the board. Queen d4, and he can just go king b8 and defend things. Yeah, so it just doesn't accomplish anything. So throwing some pawns forward, maybe I can cramp things. I mean, the other idea I had was moving the knight there, but again, the knight didn't seem very stable there. He could just kick it. So he goes rook h8, centralizing his rooks. Very good. And h6. So he's preparing, I guess, an attack on my king. h6 was not really a necessary move. I mean, he could have immediately gone with g 5, I think, if he wanted to attack that way. The engine is recommending a6, so stopping me from creating any pawn weaknesses, and that's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting a6. Let's see, can g5 be played here? Is there a reason why he needed to play h6 first? Yeah, I don't see any particular reason why not. a6, b6, and rook f to e1. Okay, so you know, he can push on here and try and create some problems. But anyway, he played h6. I pushed on with a6, and so now I have created some weaknesses around his king. Unfortunately, I don't have a light squared bishop anymore, but perhaps I can maneuver a knight or a queen over here to take advantage of these things. And he goes knight to oh, it's my turn. Knight to b5, trying to get things going over here. c6, kicking the knight. And yeah, I thought this also would create a little something for me, creating some weaknesses around his king. Now he's opened up this dark squared diagonal here. Okay, the knight drops back to d4, which is not a bad square, although he can kick it once again with c5. But that does create more holes for me to play with. So he goes knight e4, bring his knight in, and knight f3, trying to reposition this knight, get it into a good square. Bishop to f6, and yeah, it says I should just take his bishop here. I decided to bring my rook over here and let him take. Okay, maybe not quite as good. But I wanted to get my rooks over on the king side and start pushing up some more pawns here. He went rook to e6, defending along the third rank, and also with the idea maybe of swinging over here and attacking on my king side. He never did complete the pawn storm idea. He never pushed on with g5, g4, which I was always expecting. It's kind of funny. Okay, so c4, trying to open some more lines. And he plays d4. Apparently c5 or d takes c4 might be a little better. If he takes, I was probably just going to trade queens. Take back. And yeah, I mean, well, my pawns are looking a bit weak and scattered here. This one is under attack. So yeah, maybe this is good for black. But, you know, I was trying to open lines, get to his king. Okay, so he pushed on with d4, which kind of lets me off the hook there. Back to an even game. And there's some trades here. I kick his knight back, so I am still gaining a little space around his king, but I don't have a great way to break through. No matter which pawn I push, he can always just push the other pawn and cause things to lock up. So it's a bit tricky. Anyway, I played d3 to stop his pawn from coming forward here. Do I have a good idea here? Now the engine likes the knight going back to f3. Okay, after d3, is there a problem? Knight f4, he played that. Now I go knight f3. And, well, am I threatening anything? Maybe he could just grab... Oh, no, the queen's defending that. Queen to f5, continuing to attack my pawn. That's the idea, I guess, that chess engine has. So maybe this d-pawn is too weak and can't really be defended, although I have a rook that can come over and defend. But it does put me on the defensive if he goes after that pawn. Anyway, he goes rook e6, getting back to the third rank again. I go with my queen to d1. And now rook to g6 would be good. Now he goes g5. Okay, so funny. Now in this position, so right here, the engine is calling out for rook g6, which pins this pawn and threatens to take on h6. So best way to continue the attack for black. Pushes on with the g-pawn. I go rook e2 and exchange off rooks, getting rid of some of the pressure, so I'm not so worried about him breaking through against my king anymore. Bring my queen out, and I allowed him to take this pawn over here when I did this queen move. I'm not sure if I did that intentionally, but I do have, this is a good position for my queen, so it may have been a worthwhile sacrifice. In fact, if we cancel that, let's back up. Yeah, if I follow up with knight e4, so actually knight e5 rather. I should use that square for the knight rather than the queen. Interesting. So with knight e5, there's an advantage to white. So the chess engine actually approves of this pawn sack. it distracts his queen away from the defense. And if I follow up correctly, let's look at this knight e5 idea. Knight e5, it's hitting a couple of pawns. Queen to a3 and g3. Not bothering to grab the pawns right away, but just kind of securing things on the king side. Queen a1 check, king h2, queen takes a6. So he gets this pawn over here. And do I finally, I finally grab a pawn over here. I'm still a pawn down, but 5 to 6. But the engine likes my position. Maybe because I can mop up these pawns. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's too deep a line to calculate in a blitz game in any case. So queen e4, getting my queen to a central position and putting pressure on these pawns. And if he moves his pawn forward, of course, I have a check here to play. So he brings his queen back for defense, and I get to penetrate on the king side. That was a good thing about this central square. It's looking in, not there. It's looking in both directions. It's looking out along this diagonal as well as this diagonal. He drops back to queen e7. Cancel that. Queen e7, defending his pawn. I get the check. He goes, I was expecting him to interpose with the queen. He moves his king up here. I come over here with my queen, intending to take here. And I thought at this point I was making good progress, although the chess engine finds that black is still okay here with king d6. That's the move he played. And I played knight d2, threatening to come in here and deliver a check. Although, if you look at this, the chess engine says that black is still fine in the sense that he can at least get a draw. So the game should have ended in a draw, I guess, technically, but my opponent ran out of time at this point. So that's how the game ended. Pretty interesting game, I thought. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.